Allegations and confirmed instances of fakery have surrounded the production of Man vs. Wild over the years, and there are even some things Bear Grylls and his producers have admitted to making up. So if you ever thought the show was unbelievable, you were right. Let's take a look at all the reasons Man vs. Wild is totally fake. Although Bear Grylls claims to be a survival and bushcraft expert, a closer examination shows he wasn't closely involved in that world before starting his show, which isn't to say he's completely clueless. Grylls was in the military as a member of the UK's Special Air Service for 3 years, and as part of that unit he was trained in combat survival skills. But Grylls didn't come to prominence for his military exploits. Before his big TV break with Man vs. Wild in 2006, he became famous for his widely publicized adventures, including climbing Mount Everest at age 23, crossing the North Atlantic in an inflatable boat, and hosting a dinner party in a hot air balloon at 25,000 feet. While these were no doubt grueling experiences, they don't necessarily qualify somebody to be a survival expert. When you compare Grylls' resume to those of fellow TV survival hosts Ray Mears and Les Stroud, it becomes clear that his experience pales in comparison to theirs. Mears has taught bushcraft skills since 1983 to both private citizens and the military. Similarly, Stroud has served as a wilderness survival instructor since 1990 and teaches survival skills to the Canadian military. So while Grylls may look cool when he heads into the wild, he's not necessarily the one you want keeping you alive out there. The premise of Man vs. Wild is one man alone against the elements, but on several occasions, those elements involve 4 walls and a roof, along with room service, according to survival experts who worked for the show. While filming an episode in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Grylls enjoyed the nightly hospitality of the Pines Resort at Bass Lake, a modern lodge resort offering 2 on-site restaurants, a spa, and other amenities. During another episode, Grylls was supposedly stranded on a desert island that turned out to actually be a Hawaiian archipelago, where he again spent his nights in a local hotel.
Sometimes you gotta know. You right? Sometimes you gotta know when to turn back.
On many occasions, Grylls has presented dubious survival techniques that aren't actually usable in real life. While filming one episode in a sweltering locale, Grylls claimed that you could squeeze and drink water out of elephant dung. Survivor Man star and bushcraft instructor Les Stroud, who has filmed several episodes of his show among elephants, went on record during a Reddit AMA to debunk that technique. He wrote, "It is not possible to squeeze drinkable water out of elephant dung. Well, it is when your cameraman has soaked it with bottled water." In a real survival situation, many of the techniques that Grylls casually illustrated on Man vs. Wild could actually endanger people. And we're not even going to get into the urine drinking incidents. The worst is even simpler than that. The 2 dangerous moves that Grylls most frequently demonstrated on his show involved hurrying to cross through dangerous terrain and getting himself wet when he doesn't have to. For those familiar with the show, you know Grylls hardly ever walked anywhere, particularly when he was on a mountain. Instead, he ran, jumped, leaped, and swung his way down cliffs, mountainsides, and crevasses. That may work for a video game hero, but in a true survival situation, any injury could drastically decrease your chances of making it out alive. A simple broken ankle, miles from civilization, could be a death sentence. The smart move is to take your time finding the safest route. It may take longer, but it'll help keep you alive if you're really in the wild on your own. Grylls also seems to make a point of getting wet at every opportunity. He's rappelled with vines down waterfalls, gone for swims across frigid Arctic waters, and gone down river rapids on a pile of plastic tarp and branches he called a raft. Beyond the very real danger of drowning in such situations, or injuring yourself in a slip or fall, getting wet in the wild is one of the worst things you can do. Hypothermia occurs when the body's core temperature drops 3 degrees or more from normal, and it can set in extremely quickly, especially when you're wet. On numerous occasions, former crew members have alleged that entire scenes on Man vs. Wild were faked for the viewing audience. In one example, a wild Mustang that Grylls attempted to catch and ride in one episode was really a tame animal rented from a local trekking lodge. In another episode, Grylls leaped over a chasm of flowing lava, which was actually an illusion created by hot coals, lighter fluid, and a smoke machine. In another episode, Grylls is shown constructing a bamboo raft. It was later revealed that a hired expert and the show's crew actually built the raft for Grylls before dismantling it so he could be shown reassembling it on camera. After controversy emerged in 2008 over the show's less than honest presentation, Grylls and Discovery both apologized for the fakery deployed on the show. Grylls told the BBC, "If people felt misled on how the first series was represented, I'm really sorry for that." The Discovery Channel only went so far as to admit that small, isolated elements of the show were fabricated. promising viewers that future seasons would be more transparent. To fulfill that promise, a disclaimer was added at the beginning of each episode to acknowledge the occasional use of support crews or fabricated situations. But as much as they tried to diminish it, the message is still the same. You just shouldn't trust what you see on this show.